All right, it is Lucas back once again from the live wire. This time I've got Ryan from Poison the Well, founder and lead guitarist. He's going to be here chatting about the sixth record Piece in Place that's going to be due out this Friday on March 20th. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? How's Tuesday look?
Tuesday,
Any better than
Tuesday's
Monday?
going to be a long Tuesday's going to be a long day, I think. I don't know if often give the game away this early when I'm doing an interview, but this new record rips. It's insane. It's
Oh,
so good. Um, Having this be sort of the first record in 16 years, was there nerves going into this album coming out as its complete piece?
absolutely. Uh, I think generally it, there's always the fear if you put out something that just isn't, I don't know. There's that nerve where it's just like you had 16 years and you couldn't write 10 good songs, you loser. like, so I think there's that level to it. And there's also, you want to write music that is attempting to be as honest with yourself as it is with those that listen to it, and not sort of force yourself into any one direction or another. I think it's a commonality in people as they get older. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want to do the cool thing, I want to say Riz and stuff, and be a person that is current with the new times. uh, but I also don't want to be a person out of place with what's going on, where we're shouting songs about get off my lawn and property taxes. So yeah, there's a lot of nerves. We started to work on it, and then it didn't pan out the way we had wanted to, so we just reapproached it again. So it took 2 tries. So but yeah, I think we're all pretty satisfied in the sense that we made something that we feel good about for the most part. I have personally am usually the person that the day we get mixes back, I'm like, I hate everything about it, and I would do everything different if given the opportunity. So, and it's been pretty congruent that way for the entirety of our band. But I feel okay about it, which is good. That for me is a win.
Yeah, sure.
I don't
There's
want
one
to
song
take
that
it
I
back.
sorry.
I don't want to take it back.
No, and I'm glad you didn't, because again, like I don't typically give the game away so early in the interview, but yeah, the album rips. I think it's one of the best records in the whole discography, and it's a
Thanks.
true sign. It's a true sign to show you're back, and it's a big comeback too.
Hopefully it's not a, I would love to create a minor stir.
I think this is going to create a major stir. I know a lot of people, especially over here, who have been looking forward to this record for a number of years now, in the sense of like you guys making more music after going dormant for so long. So yeah, I feel like people are going to be really excited and really surprised with just how insane this record is sonically. It's all over the place in a really good way. So I've got some stuff again
Yeah.
later I want to sort of get into in that. Um, the one song I do want to talk about, though, funnily enough, is one that's sort of not on the record, which is Trembling Level.
Yeah.
So you guys dropped that last year. Um,
Hmm.
that one didn't obviously make the record, but so like what was kind of the approach, I guess? Like, did you guys look at doing that as a separate piece to be like, let's get let's get the writing out of the way and just see if people want this? Or did you guys plan that to be part of the record and then it just sort of was like, nah, let's do something else?
It was definitely an option to put on the record, and it was intended to be on the record until very late stages. I would say when we left the studio from tracking, it was still on the record, and then in the end, putting it all together with the songs that we had, uh, it just kind of felt like we could leave it off. Um, I think we wanted to include as the most, I don't know how to phrase this without sounding a bit self-important. I think we wanted to include the things that felt most vital at the moment when we were putting it together. So I think because we had that song, released it as a sort of teaser of sorts or whatever, adjective you want to use, I think we wanted to leave some of that sort of in the back of it. Not to say that anybody looks back at it unfondly. It's more like, okay, that was that moment. Let's move forward with this moment.
Yeah. And that's kind of
Man,
how I looked at it, I guess, as a fan too. Like that was the song where I'm like, seeing you poison the well and you're like, oh shit, okay. And it's like, okay, cool. Like again, you're back. And then I think then getting 10 more songs without trembling levels part of it, I actually kind of dig it because like it kind of gets
yeah,
the separation of like to a point. I guess as a fan, it's like okay, cool. Maybe that was the song that sort of the nerves are out of the way. They know that people want more. Here's 10 more, and not maybe still doing 10 songs, but then cutting a song from this record. Which I'm glad we got the 10 that we got because all 10 are insane.
yeah, and I'm sure there's still a few more out there, and I'm sure that someday we'll stop arguing about whether to release them or not, and not in a negative way. But it's just like, should we? Shouldn't we? Should we? Shouldn't we? I mean, yeah, I mean the nerves in the sense that, do I know how to do this anymore? Yeah, it was good to get those nerves out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. The record has also spawned two singles, which I feel
Mm-hmm.
are polar opposites to each other, which is Thoroughbreds and Everything Hurts. Thoroughbreds again just sort of feels like some of the most peak music you guys have made in the band's history. Was that the obvious choice to go? This is the song to represent the album on its first try.
Oh, in the equitable democracy that we run our band as, I think everyone kind of got to pick one, and it was not. There was no like sort of like, oh, well, this one should be first or that one should be first. It just kind of happened, and I think that Thoroughbreds was definitely something that I felt strongly personally about. Like, oh, this is a good one. It kind of has a little bit of everything that we do, and it's kind of like mayhem from start to finish. And the ending is kind of it's always interesting to write something that you like, and it's only one chord. Really,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then Everything Hurts obviously then kind of goes completely 180, right? Because like Thoroughbreds is like real heavy and real introspective. There's that almost gothic rock kind of chorus, which is dope as hell. But then Everything Hurts is this like bluesy, just chill tune that like also kind of feels like it's a perfect right for the band. Um, when you guys sort of walked in, because the album is so varied, do you guys walk in just going, let's make cool shit? Or was it like, hey, we have a specific vision that we want?
I think it's let's just go make shit and see what of it is cool that we like. I think a lot of times once we work out a skeleton, people get excited about it. It'll start leaning in a direction. Will and I, Will Putney, who produced it, were working on that bridge, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do a lap steel solo right here, or a lap steel melody. It's not really a solo, but like, and he's like, well, we kind of, we both sort of talked about it. I was like, all right, it's a little different, but I kind of like that you don't play in the boundaries. You push them outward. In the moment, I felt like that kind of captured what we were trying to do with the song. So I just leaned into it. Even if it's a mistake, I'll lean into it.
Yeah. The song as well, like there's a much more kind of bluesy sort of attitude, I guess, in this record than albums past. Drifting Without End is basically blues shoegaze, and it rules. You've got Wake of Vultures, which is kind of it's again blues, but you sort of incorporate like New York style hardcore into it. Like there's so much sonic variety on this record that again, it's one of those things where it's like I think everyone's going to have a favorite song, and no one is wrong.
That'll be cool.
Yeah,
I know. I know. I have my favorites, or the ones I think are less shitty.
What's your favorite?
I think the one that I've gone back to is that song "Melted."
It's a banger. Melted's really
So,
good. I'll tell you straight up, my favorite one's Wax Mask, because
oh, cool.
opening the record, I'd already listened to Thoroughbreds. I'd kind of stayed away from Everything Hurts because I wanted to listen to the album and take the album in, but I was curious about Thoroughbreds. And that opening lyric on Wax Mask of "I'll change my colors to show myself out," immediately it hit me like a gut punch. And that song's just awesome. Like, again, how did you sort of land on that one to be the album opener? Because again, like the whole record, I feel like the whole record has a series of album openers. You could go with any track on there. But I think the slow build on that one, I think, is the one that makes the most sense. But is that sort of how you guys came to that decision as well?
I think that ended up being the opener. Originally, when we tracked the song, or when we started tracking it, I don't think it was in that position on the record, because it didn't start that way. I think we wanted to start the record with that line, and that line went perfectly to that song. So that's what moved it there, not the song. The song wasn't intentionally thought of as being in that position on the record. I think it was the line that we wanted first, and then we made everything work after that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, listen, it works. It's brilliant. It's, again, it's a reason I think it's my favorite song on that album. It's because of that line and then the way it slams straight into the track. So yeah, very, very awesome. Not only is this though the first record in 17 years, you guys are going to be touring Australia later in the year, doing the debut record in full. When you guys sort of had the reunion back in 2020, when you guys were going to do like Furnace Fest and all that other stuff, how early in the conversations did coming back to Australia sort of come up? Or is that something that's only sort of happened recently?
We've been talking about it since 2018, but it was always difficult. But, you know, all of us moved on in life in a way of, not moved on from the band, but, you know, got career jobs and started doing other stuff. But we always wanted to come back. It was just, this was a perfect opportunity to make it happen, and super stoked that we were able to do it with Haywire. Hopefully I'm able to play all the shows after probably being too active during Haywire, but I'm sure I'll make it. Maybe I'll have a couple ankle braces on by the end. But
I'll tell you what, like when I saw Haywire as part of the lineup, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a tour. This is going to be a crazy tour. So I'm really excited for it. Like, again, hearing the record, like Opposite of December, like hearing that in full, I think is going to blow my mind, because that album is fantastic. I became a fan of you guys off the back of the third record.
You Come Before You? That was the first time we made it over, was 2004. So
yeah,
it's kind of cool to be able to go and do Opposite, just because, you know, it wasn't a possibility. We didn't even leave the US on that tour.
Yeah. I like, a friend of mine showed that to me in like 2007. Like I got onto the band thing a bit later, and I was like, oh, holy shit, these guys rule. And we talked about it a little bit beforehand, but like you guys came out and did Soundwave 2009, and the lineup on the stage that you guys did, I didn't move from that stage all day, because it went from like Unearth and Evergreen Terrace. You guys then played Every Time I Die, 36 Crazy Fist, Lacuna Coil, Devil Driver, In Flames, Lamb of God. Like that day was just insane. And that was the same day that like Dillinger Escape Plan were playing, and Nine Inch Nails and Alice in Chains, I think, were there. Like, it's just, you know, like that the whole day was just insane. And like, I was really sad when you guys sort of disbanded, but I'm glad you guys are back now, and you got the record, you got the tour coming. We're gonna get December later in the year. Like it's a really good time to be a Poison the Well fan. That's for sure.
It's a good time to be part of the band. I feel lucky for, you know, making music to begin with.
Hell yeah. Well, listen, man, we'll wrap it up there. But again, thanks for the time today. Super appreciative of it. The album drops, like I said, March 20th. You guys will be out here in June. I'll throw posters and stuff up at the end and all that. But listen, thanks for taking the time out to chat, and I can't wait to see you guys in June.
Which show are you coming to?
I'll be at Brisbane.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
I'll be the last one. Yeah, fingers crossed you'll be there.
Yeah. No, I will.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm super excited, and hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other.
Fingers crossed. That would be awesome. But yeah, anyway,
I'm
we'll see you
always
in June.
see you in June. Thank you.